On February the 8th of 2017, Troopal Patel, aged 29, was reported missing to law enforcement in Asbury Park, New Jersey. That same day, his black 2003 Jaguar was found abandoned on a city street. Roughly 2 weeks later, a park ranger discovered Patel's bullet-riddled body at Shark River Park in Wall Township. Couple Joseph Vianney and Raquel Garajao, both of whom were in college at the time, were arrested as the primary suspects in the murder. Patel was their marijuana dealer, and the couple planned to rob him of his supply. In preparation, they set up multiple deals with Patel to the point that he felt comfortable around them. On February the 6th of 2017, Vianney killed the dealer by shooting him 3 times in the garage of his Ocean Township home before dumping his body at Shark River Park. He and his girlfriend stole Patel's cash, marijuana, and belongings, subsequently spending the proceeds on items that included a diamond ring and a PlayStation 4. They also made money selling the drugs they pilfered from Patel. During the legal proceedings that followed, Vianney would claim to have shot Patel in self-defense after the dealer had threatened him. He initially maintained that Garajao, an honor student at Brookdale Community College, had had nothing to do with the incident, but later admitted that she'd helped plan the robbery and clean the crime scene. For her part, Garajao accepted that she was involved in the cover-up, but adamantly denied knowing that her boyfriend would be armed when they robbed Patel. The former graphic arts student and law firm intern told the court, "I am not the person that I am being perceived to be, and I didn't do the things I am accused of." A Monmouth County prosecutor, however, would describe her as the brains and Vianney as the brawn. The prosecution brought forward witnesses and presented recorded telephone conversations as well as numerous text messages attesting to Garajao's active participation in the plot. In her communication with Vianney, she instructed him to bleach everything, move Patel's car, and throw his belongings in the ocean. One of the most damning messages was the young woman telling her partner, "You need to clean the bullets." In January of 2019, Vianney pleaded guilty to aggravated manslaughter, conspiracy to commit armed robbery, disturbing human remains, and witness tampering. He was given a 40-year sentence. Garajao went to trial after rejecting a plea bargain calling for a 10-year prison term. She was thus found guilty of felony murder, robbery, conspiracy to commit armed robbery, and over a dozen other charges that included multiple counts of theft, conspiracy, and tampering with evidence. She was sentenced to 33 years in prison and would have to serve 30 years before becoming eligible for parole. Number 6. Ashley Singh and Sophie Bruyere. British couple Ashley Singh and Sophie Bruyere perpetrated a widespread scam targeting gym goers across London as well as various other parts of southeastern England. Between January of 2022 and January of 2023, Singh and Bruyere repeatedly rummaged through people's gym lockers while they were exercising. The pair primarily stole credit cards as well as SIM cards, which they used to find out the victims' banking information in order to cover the costs of their indulgent lifestyle. As showcased by the couple's gaudy social media uploads, they used the stolen money to pay for extravagant trips abroad, including to Dubai and Italy's Amalfi Coast. Singh and Bruyere also loaded up on designer merchandise and even purchased a pair of pedigree Pomeranian puppies. In total, 18 people fell victim to the couple's scheme, 14 of whom were located in the metropolitan area. The South London couple were finally arrested on January the 27th of 2023. They were returning home from a trip to Paris when they were apprehended at Gatwick Airport with thousands of dollars of designer goods in their possession. The charges levied against the star-crossed scammers included counts of conspiracy to commit fraud by false representation. Following their criminal trial at Croydon Crown Court, the couple were found guilty. 39-year-old Singh consequently faced 3 years in jail as punishment, while his 20-year-old accomplice was sentenced to 20 months at a young offenders institute, suspended for 2 years. Bruyere was also ordered to complete a rehab program as well as perform 120 hours of unpaid service. Number 5. Connor Bowman. 32-year-old Betty Bowman, a pharmacist from Olmsted County, Minnesota, began suffering severe gastrointestinal distress in August of 2023. She was taken to the Mayo Clinic's St. Mary's Hospital in Rochester in the wake of an abrupt onset of autoimmune and infectious illness. While being treated at the hospital, Betty reportedly suffered further complications and required surgery to have a portion of her colon removed. Then on August the 20th, 4 days after her initial admittance, she was pronounced dead. In the immediate aftermath, her husband, Connor Bowman, strongly pushed for there to be no autopsy performed, expressing a desire for his wife's body to be cremated. Doctors ultimately examined her anyway, uncovering the presence of the gout medication colchicine, which can cause severe internal organ damage when ingested in high doses. Police subsequently began investigating the husband, a former Mayo Clinic resident. According to a search warrant filed in Olmsted County, Bowman had looked up the word widower online prior to his wife's passing. He also allegedly created an account on the dating app Bumble and started messaging various women, several of whom spoke with investigators about their interactions with him. Bowman told each woman that he was a widower, but gave differing explanations regarding the manner of his wife's death. One of the women whom Bowman had matched with later told law enforcement that during their conversation, he made mention of the $450,000 life insurance payout he'd be receiving, which she found strange. Finally, on October the 20th, 2 months after Betty's death, the man was arrested on charges of first-degree premeditated murder and second-degree murder with intent. As of the latest developments, the case was still ongoing. Number 4. Bernard and Anne McDonough. In May of 2024, a Welsh couple appeared at Swansea Magistrates Court accused of carrying out a series of dine and dash scams all across South Wales. The pair, identified as Bernard and Anne McDonough, allegedly skipped out on the bill on several occasions while eating out over the course of a 9-month period. In total, the couple racked up nearly $1,500 in unpaid restaurant bills. One of the McDonough's final victims was the Bella Ciao Italian restaurant in Swansea, where they reportedly ate amongst a group of 8 others. After ordering over $400 worth of items off the restaurant's menu, the couple left without paying the bill. After Anne McDonough's card was declined twice, she told the staff that her son would wait inside the restaurant while she left to retrieve another card. However, the woman never returned and the boy, too, disappeared. Both Bernard and Anne already had prior theft convictions on their records. The latter reportedly stole from 2 supermarkets as well as the Tommy Hilfiger shop at Bridgend Designer Outlet in South Wales. Among the woman's other offences was a count of obstructing or resisting a police officer. CCTV footage from the Bella Ciao allowed investigators to identify the couple and ultimately arrest them. In court, they admitted to the fraud for what was described as a prolific and brazen dine and dash scheme involving children. 39-year-old Anne was sentenced to a year behind bars. Her husband, meanwhile, was jailed for 8 months. Number 3. Andrew Smith. In February of 2020, 41-year-old Andrew Smith entered into a new rental agreement on a 3-bedroom home in Cambridge, Eastern England. Within a few short weeks of renting the property, Smith listed it for sale on a site belonging to what was described as a fake real estate agency. The man reached an agreement to sell the home to a prospective buyer for roughly $500,000, despite the fact that he was only renting it at the time. Before the sale was final, however, the buyer conducted an inspection of the home with a drain surveyor and also spoke with neighbors about Smith. He learned that the man was merely a renter and that the property was definitely not for sale. The prospective buyer contacted law enforcement following his visit in June of 2022. Upon further investigation, police discovered that Smith had falsified a number of official documents pertaining to his rental agreement. He also allegedly paid a furniture rental company to supply him with furniture meant for show homes. The man was arrested on charges of fraud by false representation and entering into money laundering, to which he later pleaded guilty. In November of 2022 at Brighton Magistrates Court, he was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months in prison. Today's topic was requested by Killers 1035. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2. Tik Tok car thieves. a gang of shameless ruffians from England's West Midlands went on a spree of brazen carjackings between March of 2022 and May of 2023. Per subsequent reports, the group, composed of 4 adults and 2 teenagers, stole upwards of 45 vehicles across Birmingham, Stourbridge, Solihull, Coventry, and Warwickshire. They would break into people's homes and steal their car keys, primarily targeting higher-end vehicles like BMWs, Audis, and Mercedes. The gang would often arm themselves prior to committing their crimes. During one break-in in Kings Norton, Birmingham, they threatened to stab the homeowner if he failed to cooperate with them in a bold display. The group would often film their misdeeds and post the videos to TikTok. One such video, uploaded in February of 2023, showed the gang wearing masks as they broke into a house and made off with the owner's car. They subsequently posted a video of them driving the stolen vehicle at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. 4 months later, the entire group was in police custody. Authorities relied upon a variety of evidence to track them down, including the TikTok videos uploaded by the suspects themselves. The 4 older members of the gang were identified as Connor O'Keefe Clancy, Joshua Reed, Ryan Allen, and Cody Morgan, all between the ages of 19 and 25. The 2 others, both aged 16 at the time, weren't named for legal reasons. In the end, each of the adults was sentenced to between 3 and 5 years in prison. Meanwhile, one of the teens received 4 years and 6 months behind bars. The other was given a multi-year youth rehabilitation order. Number 1. Timothy Harbin. A homeowner in the city of Arab, Alabama, notified local police of an alleged home repair scam in June of 2024. The resident, who wasn't named in initial reports on the matter, stated that he'd hired 28-year-old Timothy Harbin to construct a patio. The latter was paid $3,000 for the renovation, but reportedly failed to complete the job, sparking the call to law enforcement. Upon further investigation, Arab police determined that Harbin already had a home repair fraud conviction on his record at the time. The man was taken into custody on the same charge in late June. Following his arrest, additional victims came forward, claiming that they'd also been scammed by Harbin. According to local man Buddy Manning, the repairman agreed to work on his house in exchange for $2,000. However, in the days that followed, Harbin continued to ask for more money until he'd swindled Manning out of roughly $7,000. Whenever he was asked why he wasn't working on the house, Harbin would allegedly fabricate a generic excuse. Additionally, Lance and Andrea Stockard spoke with the press, revealing their own horror story regarding Harbin's repair work. The couple reportedly hired the man for roof repairs, a new boat dock, as well as other jobs around their property on Smith Lake. After a few weeks, Lance started noticing that Harbin's work was being left largely unfinished, and in some cases the things that he was working on were left in worse condition than before. When they confronted him, he blocked them, but not without documenting their credit card information for random personal purchases. As of the latest developments, the case was still ongoing. Thanks for watching. Would you rather have to do all of your home repair work or never eat food made by someone else other than yourself? Let us know in the comments section below.